Here's my question. If the federal government couldn't implement SAVE, how can they now get rid of ICR and pay-as-you-earn? Here are their options. According to the key points, under the terms of a proposed Education Department settlement announced this week, millions of student loan borrowers will soon have to make payments on their debt again. The agreement centers on borrowers who signed up for the Biden administration SAVE plan. Here are the options for borrowers who remain in a SAVE forbearance. Millions of student loan borrowers whose payments are paused may soon have to start paying under a Trump administration proposed settlement announced this week. Experts say the timeline could be short and borrowers need to start planning. The agreement centers on borrowers who sign up for SAVE, which includes 7.6 million borrowers. Trump officials have not yet specified when SAVE borrowers will be forced to leave the payment pause, and Education Department did not respond to requests for comment. Of course they're not, because they don't believe in transparency at all whatsoever. The Tuesday press release notes that SAVE enrollees would have a limited time to select a new legal repayment plan. Of course, the repayment plan was only made illegal because for some stupid reason, the Supreme Court gave the ability of states to have standing on this issue because, for example, Missouri created the non-government organization Mohila, and they used that connection to Mohila to be able to claim that they would lose money based off of these plans that were implemented during the Biden administration, because they feel that they are entitled to your money, and as such, they don't want to, they want to be able to continue to eat from the government trough, so to speak. So much for, conservatism, right? I thought conservatism didn't like when people ate at the government trough. Oh wait, it's just only people who eat at the government trough who are a problem. But when it comes to states, they want to take all the government money as possible. So they go, we don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but borrowers should understand that they will likely have to make the transition from SAVE to a different repayment plan within months. The Education Department said in the release that it would begin to outreach to borrowers in the coming weeks. In the meantime, here's what experts say borrowers need to know about the end of SAVE forbearance. People who remain in SAVE forbearance are those who signed up for the Biden administration new repayment plan but got caught in limbo after it became mired in legal challenges. Mired in legal challenges mean challenged by Republican states that don't want to give up their, cash cow of these organizations like Mohila that, rake in the money. SAVE plan is now defunct. In February, the 8th Circuit blocked SAVE and sided with Republican-led states that argued that former President Biden lacked the authority to establish the student loan repayment plan, which had been the most generous terms to date. Amid the lawsuits, Biden administration moved enrollees into forbearance in the summer of 2024. Hundreds of thousands of borrowers have found themselves stuck in SAVE amid a backlog of requests for new repayment plans. Many clients have taken steps to move out of the SAVE forbearance but are waiting months for their income-driven repayment plan applications to be processed. In August, Trump officials resumed charging interest because you weren't supposed to be charged interest above and beyond whatever it was paid because they didn't want this cycle of debt to keep completing. SAVE forbearance should start, people in SAVE forbearance should start looking for ways to restart their payments. You can submit a request for another income-driven repayment plan at studentaid.gov. IDR plans cap your monthly payments at a share of your discretionary income and lead to debt forgiveness for a certain period, typically 20 to 25 years. Most borrowers would be best in enrolling in the income-based repayment plan, or IBR. And the Trump tax and spending package phases out income contingent repayment plans, or ICR, and pay-as-you-earn plan payee. Here's my question. If the federal government couldn't implement SAVE, how can they now get rid of ICR and pay-as-you-earn? And here's one question that I have that remains unanswered, according to this article at least, is if you have earned up a certain amount of payments over the course of the history of your payments and student loan repayment, and then you switch to a new one, are your payments now going to reset? Am I going to have years and years and years of payments reset if I'm now forced to go into a different plan? Are they not going to count the credits that I got under the Biden administration for the time spent in deferment under COVID? Is that not going to happen as well? Lots of questions remained unanswered. I'm not seeing anything in particular off the top of my head that says anything about what would happen to the already made payments that you made and if you will get credit for those payments made. And if you don't, I can imagine that there are going to be more lawsuits. Of course, imagine that somebody loses credits, loses the credit that they got for making those payments in the past, and then they have to sign up for a new one, and then you sue because, hey, I lost my credits because of no fault of my own. And then they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, you don't lack standing. Well, if Missouri had standing, then I should have standing too to challenge changes that are specifically happening to my repayment plans. So it's all a bunch of BS by this administration, just trying to harm people who are mired in debt, have a whole crap ton of debt. And that debt, remember, can't be written off under bankruptcy. You declare bankruptcy, you're still stuck with this. When Congress basically said, nope, sorry, you can't write off any student loan debt on your bankruptcies. Why? You can bail out huge corporations when their debt gets too unmanageable, but you can't get out of your student loan debt if your student loan situation has become unmanageable. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.